Hello everybody, I'm DW and welcome back to Valdis' story. When we last left off in the last episode, we were going to give the supplies to Claudia so that she can fix the Skyway. So why don't we go do that? Wyatt will of course continue to inform everybody that he is indeed an outsider and is very grumpy about that. Very grumpy just in general. He'll also mention that his crew was of course attacked and now they're spread across the town, the area, the city, whatever, and is looking for them. But there seems to be a stranger in Herc. Oh, he was hurt pretty badly. Well, since Herc is not a big town, I'm sure he'll be quite easy to find. So let's go pay him a visit. Ooh, but first we have to deal with this fish. And we got polished stone, so yay fish. Sybil here doesn't have anything to say to us, but maybe her father does. Oh, look at that. That guy has different colored hair. He's probably important. Oh, Wyatt called him a friend. Isn't that sweet? Sounds like Vladrin was, or Vladin, I don't know why I say Vladrin. His name should have an R in it, that's why. It should have an R. But anyway, Vlad was quite the hero to these guards. But unfortunately got himself injured in the process of protecting them. So now we have to run all the way to the abandoned gardens, and if you might remember from last time, I bought an anti-venom elixir, and that will help out us greatly for our trip into the abandoned gardens. Now why don't we take a look at our supplies here. Just wanted to make sure that I had everything. In that empty spot that I just pointed at will be the Devil's Onyx, which we of course will be getting, and the other one will be an Archdemon Soul, which might be pretty helpful. I forgot to talk to these kids, and these kids will comment about the statue here. About who this statue is, and I wonder if that statue is of somebody who's important to the lore of this game. Maybe. This area here is something that if you play the game, you'll probably see a lot of. There's a certain area just beyond it that you will often find yourself running back to if you're like me. We'll come to that probably next episode, but I will generally be editing out our trips back through this one specific 3 screens. There are a couple treasure chests up in the rafters here that we can't quite get to just yet, like that red armor chest there. And here we have a mini-boss against these two, whatever these guys are called. I forget what these ones are called. Fighting 2 of these guys can be pretty harrowing, but it's not so bad if you parry their slash attacks like that. Unfortunately, they do like to guard. Now we could go down from here, but we would not be able to get through the door down there, so why don't we just continue upward, since that's where progress is. That enemy right there can be a real pain, because if they spawn right there, it's really annoying, but usually they spawn closer to the steps, but did not have good luck then. So here we are in the abandoned gardens. There's a bunch of treasure chests throughout this area that we won't quite have access to just yet. But we are going to get a very special item in this area. A very special item indeed. These ogres have gotten a bit of an upgrade. Now when we kill them, they like to explode. Which can be, fortunately they have the, big red aura, but if you're not paying attention, that can deal quite a bit of damage. These archers also got an upgrade. They now have a shield that will absorb one magical attack, or one hit from a magical attack, so they can be a bit pesky to deal with, as you'll see right now, since they have impeccable aim. That green arrow that they shoot will poison you, but fortunately, with our anti-venom elixir, we won't have to worry about that. Through this timed gate here, we come to our very first of the level 3 iron, which is the Tamahagane. It basically is used to upgrade weapons. And of course, it comes from Japanese lore and is basically used to make the most beloved of weapons, the katana. But in this game, it's just used to upgrade and all weapons. So already we've come across, I think, 2 red chests. I think there are 3 red chests in the Abandoned Gardens, if you count the one from the central skylines. We could get this one right now, but the timing is really tight, and it's better when you have more skill cancels so that you can more easily, dash there. I don't remember specifically what all the armors are in every red chest, but yeah. Also this archer. Ah! Now here we have our very special item, the skeleton key, finally! So now of course we can open skeleton key doors. Now one thing I didn't really talk about were these little flowers here. Basically, if they grab you, you have to mash left and right to get out of them. They can be kind of annoying. These enemies here, I think they're called demon sorceresses, they can be a real pain to deal with, but they also drop the Devil's Onyx, which is what we want so that we can buy the skill cancel from the junk vendor in Herc. And fortunately, we got one on our 3rd kill in this hallway, so that is amazing. Now this next series of rooms are very vertical, and if you fall, you can't get back up them. You have to go all the way around. So, and they're also chock full of treasure. Now you can get every single treasure chest on your first come through of this room. That was great grammar there, Dave. But yeah, it can be a little tricky. Fortunately, I do manage to at least get all the treasure in this room. Now there's nothing super important, just that one armor and some crafting materials. But still, anytime you don't have to backtrack is a good thing in my book. Now to get that red treasure chest, you actually do want to jump from this bottom one. You want to do this ledge climb and then jump there. And we get the gladiator's vest. Now I did not get this on any of my previous, any of my practice recordings, so I don't know if we should actually equip it right now. Comparing it to the upgraded paladin armor, it's just not so good, but we'll probably switch to it once we can upgrade it to level 2. But for now, we're going to stick with the paladin armor. Especially since, we're dealing with demons. Now through this door, we have our 2nd life potion. So that is very helpful if we die. It's actually not that helpful right now, but it'll come in handy. This room There are 2 treasure chests, and unfortunately Wyatt can only get the one. If we were playing as Vladrin, he'd actually be able to get both of them without having to go around. You might be able to get both of them as Wyatt, but I don't think so. Now, fortunately, since we now have the skeleton key, we can actually go through there. I just noticed that ogre dropped something. Oh well. Look at the map, you can see that we basically went in a big loop. And now we can go down in this room to go fight the boss. This bottom area of this room can be kind of tricky to deal with because there is treasure down here. But we have 2 of those assassins, 1 of these sorceresses, and an annoying little trap that we will jump over for now. I probably should have just dashed through it. This jump here, ooh, so close. And again, almost messed it up. The sort of mini boss right before the boss is 2 of those green sorceresses. So I wanted to change around my magic. For the boss, we definitely want to have Black Hand and Frozen Shard. We also want to have Frostblade, but I completely forget to use it. And Holy Wisps, which is very helpful for the boss. And hey, we got to level 7. So now you can see why these sorceresses are a bit of a pain. Their crows can really deny you area, and they can also teleport when you hit them, so they can be a big pain. But, you know, for our troubles, we get another Devil's Onyx, which is always nice if we want to upgrade our demon gear. I am very indecisive with this level up, but we eventually go with luck. Having about 3 to 5 luck is pretty good. For our skill, we are going to get the tenacity so that we can eventually get access to these 3 other skills, all of which would be very welcome. Now here we are at the boss. The gimmick for this boss is this Poison Mist, which if we didn't have the anti-venom elixir, would deal us damage over time and can be a real pain. This boss in general is a real pain. I think a lot of people hate this boss. He's like this weird, slimy goat skull thing. I don't know. But his gimmick is that he teleports and puts out these poison orbs that will knock you around. He doesn't teleport at random. He always teleports in a very specific pattern. So once you recognize that, he's a little bit easier to deal with. But the like when he teleports is random, so sometimes he'll hang out in an area for a bit longer, sometimes he won't. And generally, when he goes back to the center platform, he will go into a shell and then start healing himself. So yes, he's a very annoying boss. And unfortunately, as you saw earlier, I was not able to get that focused finisher off on him, and that would have been so much damage. I actually do really like the design of this boss. I think it's one of the more interesting encounters, because a lot of the other bosses are just big, like, empty square rooms, but this boss, you know, there's some verticality to his room, you have to jump around a lot more, and, yeah, I don't know. I actually don't really hate this boss too much, but he can be quite annoying. Fortunately, you can hit him out of most of his attacks, and if you're quick enough, you can actually even prevent him from healing himself at all. But he does like to teleport, and he does also have a move where that sort of like glowing green orb will track you, and that can be quite annoying. So he's an annoying but well-designed boss. And he's also a dead boss. Unfortunately, we're only going to get an A rank, but that's fine. Very observant there, Wyatt. And for our troubles, we get an Archdemon Spirit. One of only 2 in the game. I think there are 6 Archangel Spirits, but only 2. Or I think maybe there might be 3 depending on if you do a certain thing. Anyway, in this room, there's a ledge that we, of course, can't quite get to yet. We'll come back to there, well, in the future. Now, all we need to do is take the long walk out of here. We don't have to fight this sorceress, so I'm just going to run away. Fortunately, with the skeleton key, getting out of this area is not so bad. And that guy fell down there, gone forever. Now, this device here, that Glock door, I want to say that is a holdover from the old level design. In the old level design, the room previous to it that we're in right now, that had that iron gate right in front of the door, so you actually had to go through. Yeah, you had to activate the switch, if I remember correctly. I might be remembering that wrong, though. Now, something about these ferals is after we beat that boss, they get an upgrade, and they get very resistant to physical damage. Now, I thought this was at first maybe level-based, and I don't think it is. I think it is based off beating the boss of the Abandoned Gardens. Fortunately, they are very weak to magic, even ice magic, although they technically do deal ice magic. Or at least, well, I don't think those hermit crabs do, but yeah. There's nothing going on in this room, kind of ominous. But yes, dark magic will take care of these guys fairly quickly. Did forget to equip the air one, but what can you do? So let's go give the Lordress tier back to Claudia, or whatever, Sybil's dad. I don't remember the name of that NPC. So that we can heal up Vladin, not Vladrin. His name is not. There's no R, Dave. DW. Whatever. Oh no, they know my real name. Whatever shall I do? Now the Elder does want to talk to us, but I think we'll save that for the next episode. So we're just going to run back to the save point and call it an episode. As always, I've been DW. Thank you for watching.